One more thing I want to share with you my purpose, my why, and my core values.
Dang. That's all I gotta say. I give, I, man, that's cool. Watching that intro video, uh, my, our team at Reliable Staffing Solutions did that for me. And all I gotta say is, wow, when I watch that thing, I'm like, dang, is that me? I, wow. It just, and that's how good Judine and Justine and the whole team at Reliable Staffing Solutions is. Man, we've been working with them now 3 years, 4 years, and they continue every year, every day, every time we ask them to do something, they continue to impress us. And that, I just want to say, that's freaking awesome. And I just want to thank them again for the quality of work they do for us. Because, uh, man, I wouldn't have something like that intro video, uh, if it wasn't for them. That's how good they are. And today I want to talk about certainty. And one of the things that I love about this subject is there is nothing certain in the future. It is only certain after it's already happened. But the beauty of it is, the beauty of creating certainty is that we can get almost there. And as I was preparing for this, I started thinking about good old fashioned Army days. And when I say old fashioned, I mean the big Army stuff we used to do, that we would do a quarterly training brief. We would have to submit training schedules, and training had to be locked in 6 weeks out, and everything set in stone and all these things. And by the way, the quarterly training brief happened at the Special Operations Headquarters at Fort Bragg, and went all the way down to the company level. And at the company level, the teams would brief their quarterly training plan. Plus, we would look out long term. So on top of all those things, all that planning, all those things we're putting together, that's how we created certainty in our training plan. That's how we knew what we were planning to do tomorrow, the next day, next week. That's how we knew whether or not we needed to reserve a flat range, a urban environment range, a driving range, or go climbing or whatever. That's how we did that. We created certainty into the plan. Now, the reality of it is there's nothing certain in the future. And I'm going to talk about this at the end again. But when you look to the future, you can't be certain. And I wanted to play a little bit of optical illusion game here. If is that a box? Is that a diamond? What is it? You're not certain because we're 2D, right? So certainty comes from awareness. And awareness starts with preparation. Now, let's talk a little bit of the self piece of this, the self piece of creating certainty. That's self awareness. And really, what I like to break it down to is it's not just self awareness, but the next level of it is routine. So, routines give us certainty in what we're doing during the day, what we need to do, what's first, what's second, what's third, what do we do next? What's your routine? And the reason I love routines, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, if I know the routine, I don't have to think about anything. I don't have to make decisions because I'm certain this is what's going to happen. I'm certain when I walk up to my sink in my bathroom that my toothbrush is going to be right there. I'm certain when I got to go somewhere, drive somewhere, go to the Walmart, the Home Depot, or down to the ranch, I'm certain my keys are hung on that hook as I head out the door. And I'm certain my truck is parked in the garage because I've created a routine to give me that certainty. Those are simple things, but they're repeatable and they give us confidence in action. Because if I have to spend 10 minutes looking for my keys, I'll give you a great example. This just happened to me. So I'm prepping, setting up the studio, getting ready to do this live. One of the lights falls. I'm like, crap, heard something hit the ground, but didn't think anything of it. Thought maybe it was just the way the light, stand the light up. About 10 minutes before we're going live here today, I start looking for my glasses because I knew I had put them in a case and put them in the studio. And I'm looking, I spent 10 minutes looking all over the house because I can tell you one thing that I don't do is misplace things. It's very rare that I misplace things. Now watch, I'm going to lose my truck keys, just jinx myself. But I don't do that, right? Because I put them in the same place. I have a routine. I'm certain of where they are. I was certain I brought these glasses in the case to my studio to do this call, to do this live masterclass. And you know what? I couldn't find them. So now I'm in this panic mode of what's happening. Oh crap, where are they? Well, maybe I'm gonna have to get another pair of glasses. Maybe I'm gonna have to use these glasses, or maybe I just do without glasses. I don't know. But where those glasses go, it throws my mind off the path of certainty. And as I looked around everywhere upstairs, even in the odd places, I even looked in the pantry. They weren't there. And then I came back in here to the studio and I said, I thought I heard something hit the ground. And when I heard that thing hit the ground, I didn't think anything of it. But I decided in this case, because I had lost my certainty of where I put them, because I put them, you can see the camera right there. They weren't there anymore. I was certain they were there, but they weren't. When I came back in to do a double check, looked on the floor, sure enough, tucked up underneath the chair here in the studio, there they were in a black case. Wouldn't have hardly even seen them if I hadn't gotten down on hands and knees, because something random had happened that created uncertainty in my plan that I had for this class, for this master class. And it doesn't take anything. That's life, though. What a great example of how things happen, of what can happen. We can have a plan. I come in here, I set things up in my studio. I make sure my lights are right and the camera angle and the microphone, got my notes and my pens for, y'all all know how I love to draw up here on the board. I got it all set up. But then a random thing happens. Pardon me, I bump into, when I'm in here setting things up, I bump into the cord and the light falls down. Fortunately, it didn't break. The light falls down, knocks something off the table that I wasn't even expecting. It created uncertainty in a certain definitive plan because I got a system. I got a routine that I do right here to set up the studio before I do a live. And it got thrown off. So how do we create certainty? As a leader, how do we create certainty? Well, it starts with your purpose. Because when you are certain and clear in your purpose, guess what? You know what to do. You know what not to do. You know what to take off the table because that's what I want to do. That's what I want to achieve. That's what I want to fulfill. It's where I want to go and have that impact and create a legacy. The second thing is creating a vision. If we have a vision, we know what we're going to do. We know not just this purpose, this overarching purpose, but we know the direction. And we have a finite end state to achieve our vision. That's the power of having that vision. And then when we have a vision, we create a plan. And our plan includes goals, and our goals are broken down into objectives, and our objectives are broken down into tasks, and our tasks are broken down into action steps. That's what we do. That's how we have certainty. We create a plan. Now, just because I write it down, just because I have a plan for tomorrow morning when I wake up, does not mean that it's going to happen that way. Because for whatever reason, I may sleep through my normal wake up time. Notice I didn't say alarm because I don't have one. I may go into the bathroom to brush my teeth, and my toothbrush, my little power toothbrush, may not work. Well, now what? Well, guess what? I go the old fashioned way, right? There may be, oh, God forbid, there may be a pipe broke, water going everywhere. Well, that throws off the routine. But you know what? When the routine happens, it flows and it doesn't require that extra energy. I have certainty into that routine. That's what planning does for us. When we plan what we're going to do with our business, where we want our business to grow, how we want our business to grow, what objectives, what outcomes we want to achieve in the next 5 years, that's how we create certainty. Because we know before we take a step, what direction we're going to take the step. That's being certain. We have to do those things. It takes a moment, but what it does is it provides certainty. The other thing that it does is not only does it provide certainty for you, the leader, but when you share that plan and you, as the leader, sell that plan to your team and your team buys into that plan, you know what happens? They have certainty. They know what to do. They know what tomorrow's plan is going to be. They have the 6-week training schedule. That's what we do when we create these plans. We create certainty for our team. We love, as humans, we love knowing what's going to happen next. We also know that, yes, it may not happen, but in reality, if we believe it will happen, this is my plan for tomorrow morning. This is my morning routine. This is my workout. This is what I'm going to do for the business. This is who I'm going to call. We have that plan. We have scheduled a plan, timings and things of that sort. Guess what? We feel more comfortable and confident in our actions. That comfort and confidence in our actions allows us to perform better. Isn't that what you want from your team? For them to perform at the best level, at the highest level that they can? That's what these plans can do for you. That's what certainty creates for your team. They know that, you know what, unless something dire happens overnight, they know that when they get to the office, they can open the door and go in and start to work because they know what the plan is. They know what their job is. They know what the requirements, the key performance indicators, the objectives and key results. They know those things so that they can move forward. Just like the routine that I mentioned in the morning, that I have in the morning. I know what's going to happen. That's how we create certainty. Now, if you just willy-nilly things and just start writing and putting things down, there ain't going to be a whole lot of certainty too, right? Because you're just guessing. And that's okay. The first time you sit down and do a 5-year plan for your business, you may miss the mark by 25, 50% or more. But if you pause and reflect on and look at information, data, what happened, how did it happen, those things, and then you plan for that in the next round, you're going to create more certainty. And that certainty comes in the plan becomes more correct. That's what we're doing. When we plan and become experts in what we're doing, if I'm an expert in how long it takes me to do a 6-minute walk, well, I just gave that away, right? How long it takes me to do a walk around my block, I know it's only 6 minutes, so I can plan. I can say 6 minutes, that's all I need. I need a 10-minute window to take a 6-minute walk. That's certainty of action because I've done it and I know what's going to happen. Now, could something happen? Run into a neighbor, have to wait to cross the street, whatever. Yeah, but that's certainty in action. Now, let's talk about getting more certain when we put that plan together. The way we get more certain and wait and be prepared for contingencies, have certainty in contingencies, is we what if. In the Army, we called it wargaming. And what we do is we what if the things. Some of them are realistic. Some of them you're just going to say, not going to worry about that. Am I going to worry about my pipes busting overnight when the temperature's only getting down to 60 degrees? No, I ain't going to worry about that. Am I going to worry about the pipes bursting overnight when the temperature is at minus 15? Maybe. Probably going to do some extra things to make sure that doesn't happen. That's the what if. So that I don't wake up to a puddle of water in my house. That's what we can do with what if things. What if that client's not home when I call them or not in the office when I call them? What if that client doesn't buy? What if this client buys more than I expect? That's good, but it's also bad, right? Because now we got careful what you ask for because we just scaled beyond our capability. But we're what if in it. And when we what if the outcomes as we move through our plan, we develop contingencies. And when we develop contingencies in our what ifs, then guess what? If that risk actually happens, then we've got a plan. Maybe just a skeleton. Maybe we just talked about it. But we have a plan, and that plan creates the certainty that we need. Because certainty is comfort. We have to have, when we have certainty in our actions, when we look ahead to the future and we have certainty, that's powerful because it allows us to have more to focus on what we're doing and not worry about things not happening. That's what certainty does. Now, I'll share something with you that I did, but the fellows still do it in the Green Berets, and that is, we called it PACE. And this is how we would plan for unknown contingencies. And PACE is an acronym that stands for Primary, Alternate, Contingency, and Emergency. PACE. And what that gave us was fallbacks for when things happen that we didn't plan for, that contingency we didn't know that we needed to be ready for, that electrical storm, that rip in a rucksack and a battery falling out, or the bad guys being in a different place, or the helicopter break-in, or whatever it may be or may have been, those four things: primary, that's what we plan for; alternate, that's the second backup; contingency, that's when things are starting to get sweaty; and emergency. But when we did that, it allowed us to still move forward and accomplish the mission, to achieve the end state of the mission. Because when something broke, we didn't just throw our hands up and say, "Oh, that's it, we're out, come get us." No, we had the backup plan. We had things going on. We were ready if something broke because we knew how important the outcome was. You can do the same thing with your business plan and how you get there. You can pace it, you can overpace it also, but you don't want to do that. The certainty comes from putting together a plan. That's how we create it. And then we create the plan and we look at the what ifs and we decide what if, how many of these what ifs are worthy of doing something about, and how many of them are just, okay, you know, I've identified it, but the probability of occurrence, your risk matrix, a probability of occurrence is not very high. So I'm not going to spend time or money on anything. Or that's the probability of occurrence is high. The effect of the occurrence is high. I better do something about it. Okay. That's how we do that. That's how we prepare for things. Now, in life, not just in business, in life, the only thing that is certain, and in the joke, taxes and death, yes, smart ass. I'm surprised somebody hasn't put that in the comments. What is truly certain is the things that have already happened. Because the beauty of life and understanding this is that the past has happened, it's certain, and it cannot be changed. The future is a guess. I don't care how many times you've done it, the reality is it's still a guess. We can narrow it down to the probability of something else happening outside of that plan, that certainty being pretty narrow. However, certainty can still get thrown off in the future. So, what we have to do is we have to live in the present moment, have a plan for the future that gives us a guide to step in a direction, but be ready to change that direction that we step into. That's what we have to do. And one of the ways that we at Tribe and Purpose can help you do that is helping you build leaders, because leaders solve problems. Leaders create plans. Leaders have a vision. They go forward and take action. And when you join our Green Beret leadership program and create a team of leaders in your business, it gives you that competitive edge over anybody in your competition, whether you have competition or not, whether you believe there's competition or not. It gives you a competitive advantage and makes life easier because leaders know how to solve problems, they know how to fix things, and they take action. Now, I'm going to wrap that right there, and I'm going to share something else with you. Another thing that we do, and this is for the men, just men. So we started a program, a tribe called the Steel Men Tribe. Now, the Steel Men Tribe is a small group of men that want to work together to get better as men in masculine leadership, knowing that they can't get there alone, knowing that they need that third place to come to, that organization, that group of other men where they can sit down and say, hey, I'm dealing with this. Hey, here's a problem. And get that help and do it shoulder to shoulder in action, not in a touchy feely rub your back because you don't feel good about it sort of way. No, bullshit. It's about taking action and moving forward. And that's what the Steel Men Tribe is about. And if you want to learn more about Steel Men Tribe or any of our programs at Try on Purpose, just go to 10xyourteam.net. And right there, they're listed all right there. And the Steel Men Tribe is one of the drop down. And I ask you, click that Steel Men Tribe link. Watch that video that I did explaining what Steel Men Tribes are and whether or not it's a fit for you. Thanks for being here. We'll be back again in September. The background may be a little different because I might be out hunting, depending on how things go, since it's that time of year here in Colorado. So thank you for watching. Thank you for showing up, and look forward to seeing you all in September.
Hey, I just want to thank you for taking the time, responding, coming to our site, and learning more about how we 10x your team. And we talk about the 6 C's, the 6 C's of leadership: culture, collaboration, chaos, consistency, clarity, and conscious. And when you sit down, you take this real quick assessment. It follows those 6 C's of leadership: culture, collaboration, chaos, consistency, clarity, and conscious. And I think you're going to learn a lot about your style of leadership, and you're going to get some great feedback from the Tribe and Purpose team. So we're really excited that you're taking this time and helping us build our understanding of what great leadership is and how to better 10x your team.